So, in today's lesson, we're going to discuss how to calculate relative formula mass. So, let's assume we start with sodium hydroxide. What is the relative formula mass of this? Well, we have one hydrogen atom, and hydrogen has a mass of 1. We have one oxygen atom, and oxygen has a mass of 16. We have one sodium atom, and sodium has a mass of 23. 1 the total mass of hydrogen, 16 the total mass of oxygen, and 23 as a total mass of sodium. Adding this up, we get 40 as the relative formula mass of sodium hydroxide. Now, this is the relative formula mass. Keyword relative. Relative formula mass. If I asked you for the molar mass, you're going to say 40 grams per mole. And this is one thing you need to take note of. This is one thing you need to take note of, that relative formula mass has units, grams per mole. Relative formula mass has no units, while molar mass has units, which are grams per mole. So, now that we've done this example, I want you to try and find the relative formula mass of copper 2 oxide, calcium hydroxide, and ammonium sulfate. Good to try and comment your answers. You give it a shot? Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. Copper 2 oxide has one oxygen atom with mass 16 and one copper atom of mass. Okay, copper has a mass of 64, and that's 16 for oxygen, 64 for copper, giving us a total of 80. For calcium hydroxide, we have two hydrogens, each of mass 1, two oxygens, each of mass 16, and one calcium with mass. What's the mass of calcium? With mass 40. Yeah, calcium has a mass of 40. And that gives us 40 plus 32 plus 2, which is 74 as your mass of calcium hydroxide. Coming to ammonium sulfate, we have 4 oxygens, each of mass 16, 1 sulfur of mass 32, 8 hydrogens. 8 hydrogens, sorry about that, 8 hydrogens of mass 1 and 2 nitrogens of mass 14. This is 64 for the oxygens, 32 for the sulfur, 8 for the hydrogen, and 28 for the nitrogen. Adding this up, 64 plus 32 is 96, plus 8 is 104, plus that gives us 132 as our relative formula mass for ammonium sulfate. Now, I'll repeat what I said at first. Relative formula mass has no units, so keep it as 132. But if we're talking of molar mass, it's going to be 132 grams per mole. Yeah, that's how you calculate your relative formula mass and your molar mass.